Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining in. This was a very talented Yuva playing violin here. So if you want a link, she's playing for like 50 minutes, dedicated to Srimadaji, as you can hear. So absolutely stunning. Anyway, let's just bow down to Srimadaji, put our Agnya on the earth, and raise our Kundalini and put ourselves in Bandhan. Let's just be here for a little while in silent meditation. Now have your right hand on the earth or dropping down towards the earth for the 108 names of Sri Mahakali. I'll give you a little moment if you want to join in and find it in your mantra book.
ॐ श्रीं महाकाली नमः। ॐ श्री कामधेनु नमः। ॐ श्री कामस्वरूपा नमः। ॐ श्री वरदा नमः। ॐ श्री जगदानन्दकारिणी नमः। ॐ श्री जगज्जीवमयी नमः। ॐ श्री वज्रकङ्काली नमः। ॐ श्री शान्ता नमः। ॐ श्री सुधा सिन्धु निवासिनी नमः। ॐ श्री निद्रा नमः। ॐ श्री तामसी नमः। ॐ श्री नन्दिनी नमः। ॐ श्री सर्वानन्दस्वरूपिणी नमः। ॐ श्री परमानन्दरूपा नमः। ॐ श्री स्तुत्या नमः। ॐ श्री पद्मालया नमः। ॐ श्री सदा पूज्या नमः। ॐ श्री सर्वप्रियङ्करी नमः। ॐ श्री सर्वमङ्गला नमः। ॐ श्री पूर्णा नमः। ॐ श्री विलासिनी नमः। ॐ श्री अमोघा नमः। ॐ श्री भोगवती नमः। ॐ श्री सुखदा नमः। ॐ श्री निष्कामा नमः। ॐ मधुकेतवहन्त्री नमः। ॐ महिषासुरघातिनी नमः। ॐ रक्तबीजविनाशिनी नमः। ॐ नरकान्तका नमः। ॐ श्री उग्रचण्डेश्वरी नमः। ॐ श्री क्रोधिनी नमः। ॐ श्री उग्रप्रभा नमः। ॐ श्री चामुण्डा नमः। ॐ श्री खड्गपालिनी नमः। ॐ श्री भास्वरासुरी नमः। ॐ शत्रुमर्दिनी नमः। ॐ श्री रणपण्डिता नमः। ॐ श्री रक्तदन्तिका नमः। ॐ श्री रक्तप्रिया नमः। ॐ श्री कपालिनी नमः। ॐ कुरुकुलविरोधिनी नमः। ॐ श्री कृष्णदेहा नमः। ॐ श्री नरमुण्डली नमः। ॐ श्री गलद्रुधिरभूषणा नमः। ॐ श्री प्रेतनृत्यपरायणा नमः। ॐ श्री लोलाजीवा नमः। ॐ श्री कुण्डलिनी नमः। ॐ श्री नागकन्या नमः। ॐ श्री पतिव्रता नमः। ॐ श्री शिवसङ्गिनी नमः ॐ श्री विसङ्गे नमः ॐ श्री भूतपति प्रिया नमः ॐ श्री प्रेतभूमि कृतालया नमः ॐ दैत्येन्द्रमर्दिनी नमः ॐ श्री चन्द्रस्वरूपिणी नमः ॐ श्री प्रसन्नपद्मवर्णा नमः ॐ श्री स्मेरवक्त्रा नमः ॐ श्री सुलोचना नमः ॐ श्री सुदन्ते नमः ॐ श्री सिन्दूरारुणमस्तका नमः ॐ श्री सुकेशी नमः ॐ श्री स्मितहस्या नमः ॐ श्री महत्कुच्चा नमः ॐ श्री प्रियभाषिणी नमः ॐ श्री सुभाषिणी नमः ॐ श्री मुक्तकेशी नमः ॐ श्री चन्द्रकोटि समप्रभा नमः ॐ श्री अगाधरूपिणी नमः ॐ श्री मनोहरा नमः ॐ श्री मनोरमा नमः ॐ श्री वश्या नमः ॐ श्री सर्वसौन्दर्यनिलया नमः ॐ श्री रक्ता नमः ॐ श्री स्वयंभू कुसुम प्राणा नमः ॐ श्री स्वयंभू कुसुमोन्मादा नमः ॐ श्री शुक्रपूजा नमः ॐ श्री शुक्रस्था नमः ॐ श्री शुक्रात्मिका नमः ॐ श्री शुक्रनिन्दकनाशिनी नमः ॐ निशुम्भ शुम्भ संहन्त्री नमः ॐ श्री वनिमण्डलमध्यस्था नमः ॐ श्री वीरजननी नमः ॐ श्री त्रिपुरमालिनी नमः ॐ श्री कराला नमः ॐ श्री पाशिनी नमः ॐ श्री घोररूपा नमः ॐ श्री घोरदंष्ट्रा नमः ॐ श्री चण्डे नमः ॐ श्री सुमते नमः ॐ श्री पुण्यदा नमः ॐ श्री तपस्विनी नमः ॐ श्री क्षमा नमः ॐ श्री तरंगिनी नमः ॐ श्री सुधा नमः ॐ श्री सर्वेश्वरी नमः ॐ श्री गरिष्ठा नमः ॐ श्री जयशालिनी नमः ॐ श्री चिन्तामणि नमः ॐ श्री अद्वैतभोगिनी नमः ॐ श्री योगेश्वरी नमः ॐ श्री भोगधारिणी नमः ॐ श्री भक्तभाविता नमः ॐ श्री साधकानंद संतोषा नमः ॐ श्री भक्तवत्सला नमः ॐ श्री भक्तानंदमयी नमः ॐ श्री भक्तशंकरी नमः ॐ श्री भक्ति संयुक्ता नमः ॐ श्री निष्कलंका नमः साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Today I am going to address you in English language as desired by you. Even tomorrow perhaps we may have to use this foreign language. Today's subject is the relationship between Kundalini and Kalaki. The word Kalaki actually is an abbreviation of the word Nishkalank. Nishkalank means the same as my name is, which means Nirmala. That it is spotlessly clean. Something that is spotlessly clean is Nishkalank, without any spots on. Now this incarnation has been described in many Puranas. Will be coming on this earth on a white horse. In a village of Sambhalpur, they call it, Sambhalpur. It's very interesting how people take everything so literally. The word Sambhal means, Bhala is his forehead, Sambhal means at that stage. That means Kalaki is situated on your Bhala. Bhala is the forehead. And here he is going to be born. That is the real meaning of the word Sambhalpur. In between Jesus Christ and his destroying incarnation of Mahavishnu, called as Kalaki, there is a time given to human beings to rectify themselves, for them to enter into the kingdom of God, which in the Bible is called as last judgment. That you will be judged, all of you will be judged on this earth. The population of the world is the maximum, they say. Because all those, practically all those who had aspirations to enter into the kingdom of God are born in the modern times and are going to be born very soon. This is the most important time because Sahaja Yoga is the last judgment. It is fantastic to hear this, but that's a fact and it's the truth. Though you can understand that mother's love makes it very easy for you to get to your realization, and that the whole story of last judgment, which looks such a horrifying experience, has been made very beautiful and very tender and delicate and doesn't disturb you. But this is the last judgment, I tell you, and you all are going to be judged through Sahaja Yoga whether you can enter into the kingdom God or not. Now in Sahaja Yoga, people come in with different kind of attentions or chitta. There could be people who have too much of tamasic kritya, or what we call the inertia or the more sort of sluggish or slow-moving temperaments. These, when they are exaggerated, people take to spirits or take to alcohols or to some such things which take you away from reality and make you numb with it. The other side is, as you know, right-hand side, people who have got too much ambitions. They are extremely ambitious people. They want to win the whole world and they want to become something independent on their own, malignant and cancerous. They do not want to keep their relationship with the whole. You can see in this Kali Yuga how people have gone to their extremes. Some of them are very much indulging into too much of alcoholism, or you can call it something running away from your awareness, from yourself, from truth, the beauty. The others are denying it. They are denying everything that is beautiful and are ego-oriented. So we have people who are super ego-oriented, very much conditioned and lethargic, and lazy and absolutely primitive. The other side is that we have people who are extremely ambitious, dominating, and are destroying each other by their ambition and competition. These two types of people of extreme nature are rather difficult to enter into Sahaja Yoga. But the people who are in the center are easily absorbed in the Sahaja Yoga. Moreover, people who are less complicated, simple-hearted as they are in the villages, are very easily absorbed by Sahaja Yoga and they take to it without any difficulty. Say in the city you can see the result of so much of work of mine that there are hardly about 200 to 300 people today over here. But if I go to a village, the whole village, say up to 5,000 to 6,000 people come round and all of them get their realization without any difficulty. Because here people are supposed to be very busy, they have so many other preoccupations. They think other things are much more important than seeking God and wasting your time in such pursuits like seeking God. Under such circumstances, Sahaja Yoga takes its roots very sweetly into the heart of all the seekers. It works very spontaneously. You get your realization without any difficulty, without any effort, without paying for it, without going into any sort of strenuous exercise. But when we talk of Kalaki, we have to remember that between getting our realization and entering into the kingdom of God, we can falter very much. This is called as Yoga Bhrashta Sthiti. People take to yoga, they come into yoga and are then enchanted still by their pravrittis. For example, an ego-oriented man or a money-oriented man or a man who wants to dominate can form a group of people whom he would dominate by his ideas and can go in for a fall and the rest of them will also go down. In Sahaja Yoga itself. This has been happening in Bombay very, very often. It's a very, very common thing that has been going on. But this is called as Yoga Bhrashtata, where a person falls from his yoga. He comes down on his yoga because Sahaja Yoga gives you all the freedom whether to fall or to come up. But if you go to any other guru, doing any other sort of yoga in which purification takes place and where people are trained and disciplined from very childhood, in those yogas, a guru will somehow or other see that you are injured or you are hurt so badly that you have no connections with anybody else. It's like an operation. They take out that personality and throw him out. But here it is left to your freedom to understand that you have to keep to the mains. You have to keep to the group. You have to keep to the whole and not to one person here and there who is trying to overpower the rest of it. In Sahaja Yoga, anybody who tries to come up too much comes down. Because in nature you have seen nothing grows out of bounds. Like human beings are of a certain height, the trees are of certain heights. Everything is controlled. You cannot try to show off in Sahaja Yoga, neither you should try to make a different group or a different type of some special thing. Especially I have seen in Sahaja Yoga there are people who come up and ask people to touch their feet. It is most surprising that invariably such people get exposed in no time and one knows that they are gone cases. Because their chakras are caught, they are badly caught, though they may not feel for a while. Their vibrations may be there, but they go down and down and down till they are completely finished. Now this Yoga Bhrashta Sthiti is the worst thing that can happen to anyone. First of all, you don't get your yogas. And if you get your yogas and then jump to this sort of a condition about which Sri Krishna has described, that you go into Rakshasa Yoni. Those who come to Sahaja Yoga must know that you have to stick on to one thing properly. Otherwise, what is the yoni left? If you die without yoga, maybe you are born again. Maybe. Of course, this life is wasted. But if you try such tricks after coming to Sahaja Yoga and try to impress on others that you are a very great realized soul or that you have achieved this and achieved that, all this nonsense that you have been doing before getting to realization, then there is a very serious offense and you are punished for that. This is the power of Kalaki, which is secretly working behind Sahaja. For example, there was a lady who came to see me, wanted to publish something about me, and she was paid by some horrible fellow. And she published something nonsensical, something that I never do. So everybody was very annoyed and angry and said, Mother, we must punish her and we must take her to courts, we must do defamation. I said, I'm not going to go to court, you better go give up these ideas. But nobody would listen. It so happened that that paper closed down for 3.5 months. And they had such a big setback. Of course, this is not done by me, I would say, as far as Mataji Nirmala Devi is concerned, but is done by Kalaki. Kalaki means there are 11 powers, which are...
We're staying on for a little while, but I'm gonna say goodbye here. And thank you so much for joining in. Have a great day. And then I don't have to talk anymore and leave the live stream going. So you can finish off whenever you like, or when I finish off, you can still keep going. And we just stay in thoughtless awareness and enjoy that. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you so much.